old-fashioned gig. In fact, if I hadn't been too big, I think I should have heard them creak as they went along. They didn't say anything so long as I was there, but the moment my back was turned they began to quarrel again, and in the same old words. Katy did, Katy didn't, she did, she didn't. As I walked home, I fell to thinking about another Katy, a Katy I once knew, who planned to do a great many wonderful things, and in the end did none of them, but something quite different, something she didn't like at all at first, but which, on the whole, was a great deal better than any of the doings she had dreamed about. And as I thought, this little story grew in my head, and I resolved to write it down for you. I have done it, and in memory of my two little friends on the bulrush, I gave it their name. Here it is, the story of what Katy did. Katy's name was Katy Carr. She lived in the town of Burnet, which wasn't a very big town, but was growing as fast as it knew how. The house she lived in stood on the edge of the town. It was a large square house, white with green blinds, and had a porch in front, over which roses and clematis made a thick bower. 4 tall locust trees shaded the gravel path which led to the front gate. On one side of the house was an orchard. On the other side were wood piles and barns, and an ice house. Behind was a kitchen garden sloping to the south, and behind that a pasture with a brook in it, and butternut trees, and 4 cows, 2 red ones, a yellow one with sharp horns tipped with tin, and a dear little white one named Daisy. There were 6 of the Carr children, 4 girls and 2 boys. Katy, the oldest, was 12 years old. Little Phil, the youngest, was 4, and the rest fitted in between. Dr. Carr, their papa, was a dear, kind, busy man who was away from home all day, and sometimes all night, too, taking care of sick people. The children hadn't any mamma. She had died when Phil was a baby, 4 years before my story began. Katy could remember her pretty well. To the rest she was but a sad, sweet name spoken on Sunday and at prayer times, or when Papa was especially gentle and solemn. In place of this mamma, whom they recollected so dimly, there was Aunt Izzie, Papa's sister, who came to take care of them when mamma went away on that long journey, from which, for so many months, the little ones kept hoping she might return. Aunt Izzie was a small woman, sharp-faced and thin, rather old-looking, and very neat and particular about everything. She meant to be kind to the children, but they puzzled her much, because they were not a bit like herself when she was a child. Aunt Izzie had been a gentle, tidy little thing, who loved to sit as Curlylocks did, sewing long seams in the parlor, and to have her head patted by older people, and be told that she was a good girl, whereas Katy tore her dress every day, hated sewing, and didn't care a button about being called good, while Clover and Elsie shied off like restless ponies when anyone tried to pat their heads. It was very perplexing to Aunt Izzie, and she found it hard to quite forgive the children for being so unaccountable, and so little like the good boys and girls in Sunday school memoirs, who were the young people she liked best, and understood most about. Then Dr. Carr was another person who worried her. He wished to have the children hardy and bold, and encouraged climbing and rough play, in spite of the bumps and ragged clothes which resulted. In fact, there was just 1 half-hour of the day when Aunt Izzie was really satisfied about her charges, and that was the half-hour before breakfast, when she had made a law that they were all to sit in their little chairs and learn the Bible verse for the day. At this time she looked at them with pleased eyes, they were all so spick and span, with such nicely brushed jackets and such neatly combed hair. But the moment the bell rang her comfort was over. From that time on, they were what she called not fit to be seen. The neighbours pitied her very much. They used to count the 60 stiff white pantalette legs hung out to dry every Monday morning, and say to each other what a sight of washing those children made, and what a chore it must be for poor Miss Carr to keep them so nice. But poor Miss Carr didn't think them at all nice. That was the worst of it. Clover, go upstairs and wash your hands. Dorry, pick your hat off the floor and hang it on the nail. Not that